You see that? What do you think that is? That is the steering box and shaft that came out of my 1966 Ford Mustang with factory air conditioning, factory power steering, and I didn't have to remove the engine. I didn't get a chance to video all this as I did it because it took a long time. I was by myself. A lot of it was trial and error. But I do want to give a shout out to swooshdave. His video inspired me that I knew I could do it. I also want to give a thanks out to Chockostang and the boys and girls at the Vintage Mustang Forums. So let's walk through the steps of everything I had to do to get this thing out. And hopefully it'll save someone out there a lot of time and headache. First thing you'll have to do is remove the steering wheel. Then you'll have to remove the turn signal switch and the collar from the steering column. Next, you're going to need to disconnect the two wiring harnesses from the horn and the turn signal switch. And that's going to be up under the dash, probably behind the brake lever. Next, you'll have to remove this bracket that's up under the column. There's two bolts. At this point, you want to give the steering column a twist to break it from the steering box. It's not pressed on hard, but you should be able to get it off. If it doesn't work on the first try, just keep at it. You'll know if it loosens off the steering box because you'll be able to pull it back and forth. Of course, the steering shaft will still be in here at this point. Next, you're going to want to remove the seat and set it all the way back. You're also going to want to cover up your interior with something because that steering column shaft is very greasy. I completely removed my power steering pump because it's going to get rebuilt anyway. I also pulled the air conditioning compressor off the bracket and just pushed it to the side. I did not have to disconnect anything on the factory AC. I had a straight Monte Carlo bar in here I took off. I also had an export brace in here that I took off. In Swoosh Dave's video, he said he didn't have to do it. However, I don't think he was dealing with factory AC nor power steering. It still might come off. Either way, I wanted to take it off because it really wasn't that much work to take it off, and it was going to give me a lot more room to work in here. Your mileage may vary on this. This is the master cylinder I have. All I had to do was loosen it. I didn't have to disconnect any of the brake lines. I pulled out the 4 spark wire plugs on the driver's side. I unbolted the motor mount on the motor side, that bolt, and that bolt. From there, I unmounted the steering box. There's 3 bolts right here behind the driver's side front tire. And I started jacking up the engine. I used a 2x4 under the oil pan. I would probably recommend a 2x6. I was just too lazy to go get one. So I only really jacked it up a couple pumps at a time until I had enough space to get the steering box out. So I'd raise the engine a couple pumps, try and get the steering box out. Raise it a couple more, try and get the steering box out. I think with that little tiny floor jack, it took me about 8 pumps total. From there, it was just a matter of squeaking it right through here and out. I did have to finagle this air conditioning hose, pushing it down, but it did come right out through here. And that's that quick short video. Again, I wish I could have shown you the whole thing, but that's essentially what I had to do. So if you're doing this, good luck. I hope it works as, well, as easy as it seems now.